How you doing today?
Good. This was frustrating, but good.
Yeah, well, it takes a while to get to learn how to do all this stuff. I'm still experimenting with all of
Well, if my son was around, this would be no issue because he apparently already had Hangout.
it. Oh, the kids and their technology, all the things they
But
do.
we could do this more often now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when it plays on YouTube Live, whose face is bigger?
It should switch back and forth. Let me see. Okay, now you talk.
Hello, this is Dr. Joseph Brock III.
Okay. Now, I don't know why it's not switching back and forth.
Maybe because you sent it.
Could be. Could be. So we look at the settings real quick, see if there's anything to do. Okay, that's good. Okay.
Am I your first?
You're our first experiment with this. I figured I'd go with the best before I,
Well, of course.
no need to waste time with anyone else. Nothing. It's getting on a YouTube channel now that has no subscribers. And once we get finished, we can pull it down and edit it and do all that kind of stuff with it. So it'll be good.
And put it on Facebook as well and share it.
Facebook, YouTube,
wherever this is live.
Get your links. So what do y'all got going on Saturday at the show?
Well, original recipe, Southern Fried's original recipe, 5 years to the day, give or take a few hours, is when the first Southern Fried show was ever held. And this was a brainchild of the late, great Charles Anschutz and little Chrissy Nelms, Mr. Chris Nelms, at that time, the go-to guy at Southern Fried.
Yes.
And so what we're doing this Saturday, this is one of those nostalgic moments that had been planned prior to, the aforementioned Charles.
Yes.
Before he passed away, he wanted to do this, and from what I understand, to make amends with some people, just to bring back it full circle, because not many promotions last 5 years, let alone, not many promotions last 5 weeks.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Let alone
Charles
5 years.
Bridge builder. He liked to repair things.
But this particular show, this event, the original recipe on June 30th at the Noah Rec Center in Monroe, Georgia, at great bell time of 7 p.m., we'll have many of the original stars of Southern Fried, men such as Cody Jack, Lobo, Damian Bennett, Leatherface, Vicious Vic Rose, the Monster Mall. You're going to have Big Andy and also that good for nothing Chris Nelms. They're going to reunite for Trinity. I hear tell that there are some others that will be showing up there. The Maverick will be there. Probably Twisted. If I had to guess, he'd be there. I do know this. Jacob Ashworth will be there. Dr. Joseph Brock III will be in attendance, as will my Japanese assassin Techi Mikuji and the upgrade Brian King, just to mention a few people. Who knows? There'll probably be some surprises that show up too.
Wow, that's a pretty good lineup.
Well, yeah, the blast ones are. Yes. Dr. Brock, JB Enterprises, Techi Mikuji, and of course the upgrade Brian King. That's a great lineup there. That's worth the price of admission.
Yeah. Oh, yes, certainly, sir. Well, that's usually what people pay to see anyway.
Yes, and this is just a prelude, a preparation for July 7th for JB Enterprises and one Jacob Ashworth. But, as we get going here, you ask me some questions, I'll be happy to pontificate about the greatness that is JB Enterprises and the purpose for me and my clients coming to this reunion show. Though we were near the very beginning, inside of a year, in the first year I was there. I have been at every shindig. I was in attendance at the first shindig. I had attended a couple of shows, was in negotiations with Southern Fried at that time. Did some scouting, wanted to see the lay of the land before I brought JB Enterprises in. And of course, it began with Jagged Edge and myself. Soon to follow Jacob Ashworth, Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see. And Tetsu Mikuji, then Drew Blood later. And, of course, now the upgrade Brian Kane is with us.
Yes. Do you see yourself as like a modern day J.J. Dillon with such a stable?
That's a good question you might ask there. Do I see myself as a modern day J.J. Dillon? Maybe you could say a modern day Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
A modern day Jimmy Harder, Bobby Heenan. I don't know that I see myself as a modern day anything other than a modern day me.
Yes.
But I do look at those men in the past. Yeah. They accomplished much. They were great minds in professional wrestling. They had strong stables or factions or groups. So I would say maybe in that sense, I'm following the footsteps of those who came before. But maybe if Drew was here, of course, you know what Drew would say. I'm not following anybody's footsteps. I am creating my own path for others to watch, because there's who could follow me, who could follow this. Surely not Bill Behrens. But, we'll see. We'll talk about him a little bit for the July 7th show.
Oh, yes.
I have much to say about him and his little tag team later.
Well, what are the plans for the JB Enterprises for the July 7th show?
Well, let's go back. Let's say that, because there's some good, very important plans. Let's go back to my plans, which are being put in place on the 30th. Would you like to know a little about that as well?
Yeah, just a little taste. Don't spoil it for everyone. Just give us a little taste.
Let me just say this. I mentioned Jacob Ashworth, did I not?
Yes, sir.
Being part of JB Enterprise at the onset, or at the beginning of our time in Southern Fried, now going on 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I brought Jacob Ashworth in, he was going to be part of the greatest faction ever in Southern Fried. And he did great while he was with us. He began to rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
He was part of the cream of the crop until he kind of got too big for his britches. He began letting someone get in his ear. Charles Anschutz, for all of his positives, that was a negative. It got in my beeswax. Jacob began to listen to the calls of the crowd. Those Monroe morons, those fans that were there, decided that they wanted Jacob to be one of them. And Jacob chose to join the morons, to join the Monroe Mafia, and he left us. Well, Jacob has hit some hard times. He's going through some adversity right now. As you were at Shindig 5, right?
Oh, yes. I saw the adversity that was placed upon him. It was very
he's embroiled in this feud, if you will, with one Corey Hollis. And this was supposed to be the culmination of that feud. Hollis was going to get his comeuppance. Finally, Ashworth was going to settle the score. The fans were clearly behind Jacob Ashworth.
Oh, yes.
Little did Ashworth realize or know that 500 fans or 450 fans do not equate to one Michael Judas. Michael Judas comes in, as you saw, and assisted Corey Hollis. Decimated, destroyed, dismantled, disassembled the back of Jacob Ashworth, threw him on top of a stack of chairs that, by the way, the Monroe morons actually provided.
Yes. They laid this trap.
That was hilarious. But anyhow, I digress. Maybe it's nostalgia. Being Original Recipe is going to be the title of this next event coming up this Saturday. A time in which we reflect and look back on how Southern Fried was in the early days. And I've got a soft heart. I'm experiencing nostalgia. We all do from time to time. I quickly signed Tetsu Mikuji to take on Jacob Ashworth. It was an open contract. Mm-hmm. Jacob Ashworth had been signed for the event. Of course, I got on the phone with the organizers and the promoter, and I wanted a part of that, because if anybody's going to be there at the beginning of a reunion show, it should be me and my group, because we are the ones who salvaged Southern Fried.
Oh, the backbone, clearly.
We were there in those dark days, those dismal days. And with the Jagged Edge and myself and other members of JB Enterprises, we have taken that which had been despicable in the eyes of most of Georgia, and we helped them overcome and defeat the naysayers. We truly made Southern Fried great. So here's what I wanted to do. As I contemplated and thought about what's going on with Jacob Ashworth, and the nostalgia part comes in, I've decided to give Mr. Ashworth an opportunity. I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to make him an offer that he shouldn't refuse.
Oh.
He has a problem. He's in a pickle. I have a solution.
Yes, sir.
And if he accepts the offer, easy peasy, 1, 2, 3, on July 7th, no worries in his cage match against Corey Hollis. I have the answer to Michael Judas. I have the antidote to the annihilation that would come Ashworth's way. Tetsu Mikuji. Because Tetsu Mikuji, if you know your Southern Fried history, your recent history, the former Southern Fried heavyweight champion defeated Michael Judas on numerous occasions before being cheated out of his championship belt. The only person to successfully defeat Michael Judas on more than one occasion at Southern Fried, the only one, my client, Tetsu Mikuji. So we'll just see if Jacob Ashworth can meet my demands and come home, much as the Jagged Edge did. He can come home, all will be welcome, and we will solve his problem.
Well, I would certainly be hesitant to get involved with Mr. Hollis, especially with Mr. Judas on his side, with no stable of my own. That's almost foolish.
Well, he has been foolish. He's been moronic, if I might say. He is placated to those peons, the fans of Southern Fried. He is now in cahoots with men such as Todd Sexton, Ike Cross, Xander Ramon. He's on that side of the fence right now.
The flashy ones.
Yeah, the flashy. All flash, no cash.
Yes.
But that also brings me to July 7th. Not only we're going to try to help Ashworth out. And by the way, if he doesn't, he won't have to worry about his cage match because we'll handle him this Saturday.
He won't make it.
He won't make it if he doesn't make his next move his best move and come back home. Brian Kane will be there too. He's scheduled to wrestle someone who's been ducking him for 2 years now. When Cameron Cade, we'll just see what happens there. But as you recall at Shindig 5, what did my team do?
What was a glorious victory?
Glorious victory. And what kind of match was it? Was it a singles match?
No, it was that massive tag match where everyone.
And who won that massive tag match?
It was, of course, it was JB Enterprises with 2 people.
Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. Who were the last 2 men in that match? Who were the ones who were standing at the end?
I believe it was Kane and Mr. Blood.
That's right. You believe right. Drew Blood and Brian Kane. Now, something else happened of interest on Shindig 5. There was another tag match of note. A championship tag match where we had the approved defending their title. They had reigned for basically, you might as well say, a year and a half. Say 1 month. And they took on Bill Barron's boys, Slim J and Chris Cross, Applesauce.
Yes.
Whoever the little yellow-haired blondie spiked up his hair like this gentleman. And they were able to somehow wrest the tag titles. What did they do to deserve a title match in the first place? Where was our turn? The only time we took on the champions, we won the match. We didn't receive a rematch because of technicalities. We didn't take the belts home. So I quickly took a contract, signed it with JB Enterprises names on it, Drew Blood and Brian Kane, and guess who was on the other side?
Oh, wow.
Other side of that signed contract.
Oh, wow. The Mr. Applesauce and that slim fellow, right?
That's right.
Ooh.
We're in a title match, tag title match, July 7th in Monroe, Georgia.
Oh.
The same night that Ashworth has his cage match with Hollis, we have a championship match with the tag team champions. And I've got news for you. There's only one manager of champions at Southern Fried, and his name is not Bill Behrens. I don't care if he's a Hall of Famer. Ooh. That's a rigged vote anyways. Every year you see people who should be in the Hall of Fame that get passed over. It's all political.
Yes.
And what has he done in the first? What has he done anyways? Who has he ever represented that amounted to anything? I mean, really? Has he ever managed Tetsu Mikuji? No. Has he ever managed Brian Kane? Of course not. Has he ever managed or represented Drew Blood? Certainly not. And the Jagged Edge has known him for years and said, stay away from him. He's
I
no
believe
good.
he managed people up in the mountains where Todd Sexton is from.
Yeah, the cornbread cornheads of Cornelia.
Yes.
I don't, AJ this, who's he? He has no styles. He's not phenomenal to me because he doesn't wear green like me.
It's never been Monroe, I don't believe.
No. So if Bill Behrens thinks he's going to come down to Southern Fried and take over and be the top dog, the numero uno, the manager of managers, he's got another thing coming because I'm Dr. Brock and he's not.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is not Dr. Brock. You have the experience.
I do.
You know the Monroe, just the battleground better than anyone I've ever met.
I do. I know the terrain well. I'm a ring general. I may not be in the ring, but I'm the mastermind behind those in the ring.
Yes.
And I always have a plan and a purpose for what I do and what we do at JB Enterprises.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, y'all just destroyed the 650?
You mean the canceled crew?
Yes, so badly. I'm glad they're not going against y'all again.
They probably would be. That's no news. There's no more 605 for us. They're out of the way. They're terrible anyways. We are.
Wow. It's going to be a really exciting show on July 7th. I mean, I'm not going to get to see all of the 30th show because I have to work most of the show, but I'm really excited to see some of the older guys. Hopefully, as a newer Southern Fried fan, I've only been around a year and a half and getting to see more of the people I don't know about, but
It'll give you a different perspective of where Southern Fried was.
Yes.
And where Southern Fried is. Yeah. Now, even though I may say a lot of disparaging things about a lot of people that are there, they were the pioneers. There were a lot of great things that occurred while they were there. Well, I mean, when I was there originally, younger version of me and my men. But they had relatively good attendance. They still, for 5 years, Southern Fried has made its mark in independent wrestling in the state of Georgia.
Yes.
And if there had not been year one, there would not be year 5. Mm-hmm. Math addition just tells me that. You got to have something to have more than something.
Stepping stones.
Stepping stones. We've stepped on every stage and above them because we always rise to the top.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. I have actually mentioned to people that their promotions are failing to look towards Southern Fried and what they've done. People that are trying to find their way in the wrestling world to use Southern Fried as a business model for what they're doing. And I think more people should listen to that. They're able to put together some of the biggest shows in Georgia consistently every month. And that's
This is true. That's because I mean, toot toot, my here comes my horn.
Yes.
Who's been there year in and year out, month in and month out, event after event? Who has been the centerpiece, the cornerstone, the glue that kept it all together and brought fans a flocking?
Mm-hmm.
JB Enterprises. But there are others that have come that are really good additions, strong additions.
Yeah.
I think that Adrian Hawkins, even though we had Adrian Hawkins and the Approved, we had our differences for a short time. They were a great addition.
Oh yeah, and his title reign was a great title reign.
He did a marvelous job, if I might say.
Yes.
And even though his reign has ended, maybe he'll get it back soon because unless we decide to take it.
Yeah.
Because that Ike Cross, I don't like Ike. Don't like him a bit. And the Peruvian Pussycat, Xander Ramon, can't stand the man.
Yeah.
The old chosen one, Rick Michaels, the new chosen one, Chris Nelms, could do without them.
Who's doing all the choosing?
I don't know, because I sure didn't choose them.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I knew who was in charge of choosing.
They stuffed the ballot.
Yeah. It's going to be a very 605 show at the original recipe show.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not going to be a 605 show because they're going back in time. It's going to be Trinity. Now, it just so happens a lot of them were other places and other entities. They were called other things. It's a repackaged version, slightly different moving parts.
How many people are in Trinity?
You would think 3. I guess they multiply. Because I can think of 5 or 6 people that are supposed members of Trinity. It's Trinity squared, I suppose.
Yes.
I guess that would make it 9. 3 on 3, but
I'm doing my mathematics in my head, sir.
But
I think you're correct.
Apparently, Trinity for this Saturday is going to be Chris Nelms and Big Andy. And Andy does eat for 2, so I guess that makes 3.
Yes.
I don't know. Chris is pretty big, so maybe it's 4. But I guess maybe that's why they added on. They got that 605 thing going on, but they're no more. Trinity can come back for some more. As long as I stay out of my beeswax, I'll stay out of theirs.
Yeah.
I used to like Trinity, actually.
I was really disturbed by the amount of damage y'all were able to do to what's that other fellow's leg?
Oh, Justin Legless.
Yes.
He's like, I think he's going to try to go for the new sequel to the Lord of the Rings and call it, instead of being Legolas, he'd be Legless.
Ooh.
Justin Legless. And instead of a ring, he's looking for some crutches to be his precious.
Oh, once again, y'all are the dominant wrestling faction, some of the most absolutely amusing people I can ever talk to.
Yes. Hey, fun fact, Myron.
Yes, sir.
I received a phone call from Just for Fun Radio.
Yes.
The DJ Scotty.
Yes.
Scotty Pence, DJ Scotty. He and some others that have seen the light are currently seeking green jackets because they want to become Brockites, followers of Brock.
Ooh, wow.
So if you come to an event and you see a group of individuals wearing green jackets, you'll know why.
It's a movement.
It is a movement. The green represents me and my excellence, money.
Yes.
And the master of managers. Oh, yes.
Oh, it's so good to talk to you, Dr. Brock.
I enjoy it. So how have you been, Myron?
I'm good. Got to a couple of other shows in the time being, between shows.
Do tell.
Things. I saw a show out in Carrollton. We drove all the way out to Carrollton for Georgia Championship Wrestling. I got to meet my idol, Bob Armstrong.
Bullet Bob. Did he
Yes.
have a mask on?
No.
He wasn't a Bullet then?
No,
Mr.
he's just
Bob?
Bob this time. I want to meet the Bullet, but I have no idea where he's from to go see him. And I got a lovely hug from Mr. Tommy Wildfire Rich.
I have a story about Tommy Wildfire Rich.
What is that, sir?
I don't like him.
Oh.
Years ago, in a place called Diamond Pro Wrestling, he was a special guest enforcer for a match against my champion. Guess what? I've been managing champions for a long time. Against a man named Scotty Bullwinkle. And I was a guest official referee. My intellect, my contractual expertise, I was able to, I won't say finagle, but to make sure that my man had a fair referee in me. And Tommy Rich jumped at me. He was scary, by the way. Former NWA World Champion. He's one of the greatest wrestlers Georgia's ever seen. And I'm a great manager, but I'm not a grappler. Mm-hmm. He entered the ring and he grabbed me. And I don't know what happened. I think my blood sugar was low.
Yes.
Because I went faint. And I woke up. And it turns out that they said I counted 1, 2, 3, and my champion lost.
Oh, no.
And I blame Tommy Rich because I think, so I watched the video, he's the one who made me do it. So I'm not really a big fan of Tommy Rich.
Oh, I can't blame you, sir.
You know what I think about Wildfire?
What's that? I
think that it needs to be put out, extinguished with a lot of dirt, because that's what kind of person he is. He's a dirty person.
Mm. It's if that had happened at Southern Fried with the delicious hot dogs and other things at the catering, you would have never left your blood sugar.
That's right. That's right. I would have been fine.
Yes. They added chicken fingers last time. I quite enjoyed those.
Oh, yes. Chicken fingers are good. I love them with ketchup. Dip them in ketchup. Mm.
Yeah,
Especially if they're dinosaur shaped. I like.
Oh, you like the fancy stuff.
I do. Gourmet style. Yeah. So who else was this in Carrollton that you met? Tommy Witt.
I got to see Mr. Nelms. Mr. Nelms and Mr. Legend wrestled some old guys.
I bet they were hobbling around.
Yeah. And they're really, I saw Terry Lawler's brother. He's going to be at the show.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Steve the Brawler Lawler. He's a double tough individual. He and Outlaw Joel Deaton have had some battles.
Oh, I saw Joel Deaton was his tag team partner.
He's a big fella.
Yes. They're quite the intimidating tag team. So
they are. They're on JV Enterprises, but they are legends.
Yes. Well, you can't focus on the older product. You have to stay relevant.
Yes.
With today's wrestling crowds. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. I didn't know you'd worked with Mr. Rich before.
I had the misfortune of encountering him at a wrestling event. Mm-hmm. Like I said, he put his hands on me. Low blood sugar. I blacked out. I would have beat him up.
Yeah.
I'm not a fighter by any means, but I am one who believes in doing the right thing. Yes. And when he put his hands on me, actually, I felt I wouldn't have probably hurt him because he's elderly. He's a senior citizen.
Yes.
But my client would have at the time. Jake Slater would have put him down. So where other places have you been?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of interested in a couple things. Some of the guys that are going to be on this original recipe show, I am not familiar with them. Is there any background you can?
I can give you some. Yes, I'll be. You ask me a person, I'll tell you what I know about him.
Who is this? Vicious Vic.
Oh, who's your daddy? Vicious Vic Rose. He was one of the premier stars of Southern Fried in its infancy. He was the go-to guy. The fans loved him. He's like a Southern rocker style guy. He come in, his fans say, "Who's your daddy?" This is Vic Rose, and he battled many a foe at Southern Fried, and he was a tough individual back in the day. Now,
fighting that guy from the movie, that chainsaw movie.
Oh, Leatherface. Yeah, I get a headache every time I'm around him because his little chainsaw smells, that kerosene or
Yeah,
that
fumes.
fuel. It's
Yeah,
fumes. I don't like it. But that'll be an
I've
interesting main
smelled
event.
before too when he comes out with that, and I didn't care much about it. But he's a guy that's been wrestling in the area for a long time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and he is. Leatherface is a Southern Fried Hall of Famer.
Yeah, we have
Some of them I call them Hall of Shamers, but
oh well, without you in the Hall of Fame, it's kind of incomplete.
yeah, that's right. It's a Hall of Shame without me in the Hall of Fame and my men.
Yes. Well, y'all are still active. You're
That's right.
active
That's
wrestlers
right.
on every
We are
card.
literally living legends.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
actively building upon our greatness.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to retire to get recognized.
Yeah.
We need no sympathy.
I've seen Swole, but I haven't seen Twisted. But
Twisted is the brother of Chris Nelms. In fact, they were a formidable tag team called the Company. They were tag champions there at Southern Fried. I can distinctly remember them defending their tag titles while at Southern Fried in the early days when I was scouting. Twisted Jerry Nelms is one that he currently wrestles some other places that we don't really need to mention. Used to be in Monroe. I guess they're going to be in Athens. They're violent, I guess, with their wrestling Southern style or whatever. But he claims to be the king of the super kick. And
king of the super kick.
He is. Yes, I would quibble with that, but it's an effective move. Twisted is not a bad competitor. We've been in the ring with him before, and he has potential. He's very athletic.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite measure up to Brian Kane.
Twisted and Swollen makes me uncomfortable saying that together, though.
What's that?
Saying Twisted and Swollen at the same time makes me uncomfortable.
Ooh, if they'd be uncomfortable if they were in the ring with Tetsu Mikuji. Well, Swole definitely was.
Who wouldn't be?
True.
Yeah, I'm glad they're saving JB Enterprises for the current product. It makes them, puts them in a much better spot on the card, in my opinion.
Yes.
It's going to be an interesting show. It's going to be a very good background for us new fans.
Are you familiar with Cody Jack?
I saw Mr. Jack one time at my first Southern Fried show.
Because he's a second generation wrestler. Uh-huh. His departed father, who passed away a couple of years ago, I guess Southern something or a Southern legend, Billy Jack. He was one of the originals for Southern Fried as well. He and Cody did a lot of work together. Mm-hmm. Cody Jack is an athletic, well-rounded individual. Has really good in-ring skills. A thinker in the ring.
Yes.
I mean, he's taking on Damon Bennett. Damian Bennett, who, of course, I've never been a fan of Damian Bennett. Athletic, but not a lot up here. We ran across him a few times, and a lot of talent. He just wouldn't listen to me.
Yeah.
I tried to bring him over and to see the way and become a junior member of JB Enterprises, but
yes,
he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
Well, what is your perspectives for the JB Enterprises in the future?
Are you referring to titles, tag titles? Of course.
What do you have planned? If you give us just a small taste.
Continued dominance in Southern Fried. Of course, we have diversified. We have my clients do wrestle in different areas at times, other promotions, whether it be in Porterdale or Cornelia. It could be in Barnesville or Albany, Myron, Georgia. We have a championship match coming up with Tetsu Mikuji in July, on July 28th, in Myron, Georgia, with GWE. Tetsu Mikuji is going to be taking on a so-called monster, the GWE heavyweight champion, Payne.
Payne?
Yes, Payne.
I've seen Mr. Payne.
Yes. He's
short fellow.
He's a little bitty fellow. He doesn't measure up to the mass and monster size of Tetsu Mikuji, but he is one that it can cause some damage in the ring now.
With the recent passing of Vader, everyone was talking about who the greatest big man was, and I'm like, why aren't we talking about Techi Mikuji?
Exactly. Techi Mikuji is the big man of wrestling. He is the monster. He is the measuring stick. Or as a tag team in WWE said, he is the bar.
Yes. Yes, and he's phenomenally athletic.
Very athletic.
Martial arts knowledge is just unbelievable.
He has power. He has agility. He has the mental acumen behind him. Me. He is just an unstoppable force. And the sky's the limit for what Techi Mikuji can continue to do in professional wrestling.
I'm very excited to see Mr. Blood and the Upgrade himself in a tag team match.
Oh, yes. You know, we're the Thriller Bees. Brock, Brian, and Blood.
That's a good one.
That's right. We will be tag team champions sooner than later. And when we take those belts, when that title reign begins, it may not end until we're inducted into the Southern Fried Hall of Fame, if you know what I mean.
Yes, sir, doctor. Yes, sir, doctor. That should be a prescription for entrance right there.
Yes, and you never know. I continue to. I allowed the Jagged Edge to go home and take an extended vacation, well-earned vacation, and he'll be back hopefully soon. We'll see.
Yes.
And of course, as far as you never know, the membership of JB Enterprises, if I were to add a member here or there, you know, Jacob Ashworth, he's a smart man. July 7th,
come home.
He'll have a assured victory. He'll be a made man again.
Yeah.
Take away his little mafia term. He'll be a made man for real this time.
And it'd be good for him.
It would be
good for him. To be represented by the most dominant faction in all of the Southeast professional wrestling.
And that is a truthism. You've told the truth.
Yep. And
this is not make believe. No. That is make people believe, because we are what we say we are. We're not a figment of our own imagination. We are the best.
Yes, I have seen proof. Y'all are the strongest faction. I see other 1 and 2 man factions popping up and other managers, but it just doesn't click the way y'all click and show dominance.
Well, see, we don't just have talent, we have longevity.
Yes.
We have proven over the course of time that we are dominant. We're not the flash in the pan.
No.
We're not the Johnny come latelys. We're the Brocks come and stay.
Yes.
And continue dominance.
Yes.
We are the Roman Empire. We have a 1,000-year reign, so to speak.
Yes.
We dominate the landscape.
It's just so good to hear things like that. Just so good to hear things like that.
I agree. So have you been keeping your cohort, your partner straight?
Mr. McDaniel has been very busy selling life insurance lately. He's also working on a lot of other things for the podcast. He's probably the busiest human being on earth. But he's got some stuff we're getting together to set up for different ventures into the wrestling business and the podcast business and the entertainment business. And we're looking to make this the long term for Tapped Out. We're looking to make ourselves, we've done it for 2 years now. We're going to continue to cement our legacy as the most dominant sports entertainment podcast in the area.
Well, you know, you're JB Enterprise approved.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have proven your mettle.
Yes, sir.
You have proven your excellence over time.
Yes.
Because I can assure you, if I felt that you were not up to par, up to my standards and the standards of JB Enterprises, you would be getting this for an interview. But you're not. You're better than that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I like
you're worldwide.
Thank you.
Just like JB Enterprises is.
Yes, sir. Well, it's another pleasure, sir. I'm going to let you get on so you can have your dinner tonight and get plenty of rest before Saturday.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Continue your training.
I will.
Meditating.
Pumping the iron, the mental iron, that is.
Yes, sir.
Plans in place.
Always.
Thoughts up here that will be played out there
Yes.
in the ring. Don't forget, I am Dr. Brock, and this is Tapped Out Podcast.
Thank you, sir.
And the rest of them are not.
Thank you, sir.
Get that.